Morning, Sister Gibson. Morning, Mother Marisol. Well, good morning, everyone. I pray everyone had a great day yesterday. My apologies for yesterday. Yesterday, I had to drop my parents, my mother, my grandmother off at the airport early, at 4 a.m. So I had to drive all the way to the airport, drop them off. Naija, how you doing? So I was going to be able to do the devotion. We wasn't even sure whether or not, they were going to go yesterday, but they went, they reached, they're safe. That's all that matters. So we're going to kick off our devotion this morning with a story. And this story will be the focal point of our entire discussion this week. So yesterday, my mother and grandmother went on an airplane to go to St. Martin. My grandmother was going back home. My mother was going with my grandmother. Whenever my mother goes to the airport, is usually the same story, which is the case for most people's parents when they go on the airport, when they're traveling, especially those who come from back home, back in the country and everything. Aquafina, how you doing? They load up their suitcases with every possible thing that they can. They purchase items up here, and because they purchase items up here to bring home to give to people, they load up their entire suitcases with everything they possibly can. As a result, they usually have too much baggage, or they have too much items in their baggage, overweight. So yesterday, of course, that was the case. Brianna, how you doing? That was the case yesterday. Yesterday, my mother had overweight, and she had bags on top of bags on top of bags. Every time my mother goes to the airport, it's the same thing. Always the same thing, always the same story. Nothing's ever changed. So while doing this, while taking items out of one bag, putting them into another bag, and make sure everything is underweight, I kept saying to myself, you know what? My mother has too much baggage. My mother is leaving to go visit family, and she's leaving with too much baggage. And the scary thing is that she's going to come back up with even more baggage. So that had me ask a question of which I will pose to you this morning. Are you carrying too much baggage around? Are you taking too much of the items in your life that you should have gotten rid of, that you should have forgotten about, that you should have buried a long time ago? Do you put that in your bag, and are you carrying that around? That's the question this morning. What's up, Nick? That is the question this morning. Are you carrying too much baggage? So this week, that's our focal point, baggage. So I want us to clear our minds, clear our space, and ask a series of questions. Are you carrying too much baggage? Let's pray. Father God in heaven, we just want to lift you up and thank you, Lord, for giving us this day, waking us up this morning. Father, I ask you that you will continue to strengthen us, guide us, and heal us. Lord God, as we go into this discussion, dear Lord, this week regarding baggage, help us, Lord, to see if we are carrying too much baggage. And if we are carrying too much baggage, dear Lord, help us to let it go. Help us to remove that baggage from our lives. Help us to separate that baggage from us. And at the end of the day, Lord God, if we have too much baggage, we're going nowhere. Thank you, Lord, I pray in Christ's name. The question for you this morning is, are you carrying too much baggage? Is it because of the fact that you don't want to let go of the baggage that's in your life? Nisi, how you doing? Is it because you don't want to let go of certain things in your heart? You want to hold on to everything? Nick says baggage is scars from your past. Very interesting thought. Bad habits. Is it because that you don't want to lose the type of person that you were? Is it because you don't want to give up on the type of things that you used to do? So instead of losing these things, instead of giving up these things, you just find a different way to disguise them, a different way to rewrap that package, that baggage? Is it because you want to make sense of what you're doing? Regular, degular. What's up, bro? Is it because you want to create a different system and create a different way of doing things so that way you are looking at something from a totally different perspective, but yet still you're doing the same exact thing, trying to cover it up? Take care, Nick. Or is it because you're afraid? Afraid to face reality, afraid to face the fact that maybe it's time to let go of certain things. Maybe it's time to give up certain baggage. Maybe it's time to release certain holds on your life. Maybe that's what you need to do. Indian, how you doing? Appreciate you, Nick. Maybe it's because you're still holding on to something that you should let go of. The definition of baggage, at least my definition of baggage, is holding on to things that you just don't have no business holding on to. Still gripping onto things that you have no business gripping onto, things that you should have let go a long time ago. Molly Nug, how you doing? Dropping things that you should have dropped. Wow, did that, Aquafina. Right on point. See, sometimes in life we have to let go of things to make space for new things. It's just like a plate of food. You grab your rice, you grab your chicken, you grab your greens, you grab other items, and you put it on your plate, and before you know it, your plate is completely full. And as you're walking down this buffet line, you start to see other items that you want to put on your plate, but you still have items currently on your plate. And because you have items currently on your plate, you're saying to yourself, "Well, I want the items that are here, but I also want the items that are there." You got to eat that. You got to eat the items that's on your plate, so then you have room for more items for your plate. But you're scared to eat those items on your plate because you don't think you're going to be able to go back and get those items again. Because at the end of the day, these are items that you just ran across. These are items that you just got. Excuse me. And maybe you may not be able to get them again. So because you don't think you'll get them again, you want to keep them. So then what do? You try to make more space. So you could cram more stuff on your plate. But as you're cramming more stuff on your plate, you don't really realize that you're cramming more stuff and you're making your plate more heavy. And before you know it, you're gonna have too much baggage. Bible talks about baggage in the sense of how we shouldn't carry it around. But in the sense of that we have to let it go. Bible says in Matthew that come to me all those who are heavy laden and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. Basically, if you're walking around with baggage, if you're walking around with a heavy bag, if you're walking around with a heavy load, all you need to do is just give that to God and then replace it with what He has. See, he has a lighter load. He has a lighter burden. He has no burden at all. But some of us, we're too connected to the bags that we have. See, yesterday I'm looking at my mother and I'm saying to myself, Mom, you don't seem, and I said to her as well, I said, Mom, you don't seem to learn your lesson. And I don't know if you think this is right that, we drop you off and we do what we have to do, to make sure you get through the system. But yet still you have the same issues. Nikki, how you doing? But you have the same problem. You're loading up your bag so much to the point where it's overweight. And I keep telling you, you at this point, Mom, just pay for the overweight because it's not fair that I gotta go and do stuff and I have to sit and go through the packages, go through the bag to take stuff out, to put stuff in another bag, to put it back on the weigher, to weigh it again, to take some more stuff out, put it and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You should saw my father yesterday. My father was with us. He was traveling to the airport with us, and the frustration and the anger that was in his face is in his voice. Because my father's old, right? My father's older now. He doesn't drive as much. He has bad eyes and stuff like that. So they kept telling him he had to move the car from the spot at the airport, and my father's like pleading with them, begging with them. Listen, I can't drive this car. Can't drive the car. I can't drive too far. My son is coming back out. He just went in there with with my wife and my mother-in-law, and he's gonna be coming right back out. And my father said that he was pleading and begging with them and everything like that. And then once I got out the airport, my father just started yelling and screaming and carrying on and everything like that. In my mind, I was like, yo, dude, not today. Not today. I'm already tired. I'm upset. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I did what I had to do. I don't know why you're yelling. You didn't get a ticket. You didn't get in trouble. Why are you yelling? But that's how he addresses things. That's how he gets things out. But I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, why on earth is my mother carrying so much bags? But I get why she's carrying all the bags, but I'm saying, Mom, it's just overdoing it. And I realize that that's exactly how we do in life. That's how we carry all these bags in life. We overdo it. We don't just carry one bag and have that one bag be our end all be all. We have to bring all types of bags. We have to carry all types of items. We have to carry all types of things because of the fact that we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to lose anything. We don't want to forget anything. Tony, how you doing? We don't want to miss out. I'll never forget. My pastor once said during a sermon that you have to let the old self die and be dead. See, the old self carries a lot of burdens. The old self carries a lot of baggage. It's a lot of baggage that the old self has. That even though you would want to make sure that the old self does not reemerge, you also want to make sure the old habits that the old self once had doesn't reemerge as well. But as we're getting rid of all of the things that have kept us down, all the things that have made it hard for us, we want to also keep in mind that we have to remove the things that we self-inflict on ourselves. A lot of times, a lot of the baggage that we carry around is self-inflicted. Baggage that we should have dropped a long time ago, baggage that we should have gotten rid of a long time ago, and yet still we are carrying and holding on to them because of the fact that we want to show and prove that we still got it. We want to show ourselves, we want to encourage ourselves, convince ourselves that even though we are on a different path, that doesn't mean that we can't still hold on to the things that we used to do. Vanessa, how you doing? Vanessa, ¿cómo estás? As a result, we still hold on to the things that we should have let go of. We hold on to the things that we should have forgotten about. Angel Wings, how you doing? We should have removed those things, but we didn't. And we can't. We're too connected. We're too attached. We don't want to let go, but we want to hold on. want you to consider all of the things that are in your life right now, the things that you should have gotten rid of a long time ago, the baggage that you're still carrying around. Sexy 99, how you doing? I want you to consider that some of the things that you are carrying around, perhaps you don't need that in your bag. Perhaps you don't need an extra bag to carry stuff around. Sometimes we're carrying things that we had since we were children, carrying old habits that we had since we were children, carrying habits that we should have letting go of when we became adults. See, there's certain things that I still do that I did as a child that I should have gotten rid of a long time ago. Certain habits that I used to have when I was a young boy, I still do. And guess what that is? I can't tell you. It's embarrassing. But it's something that is also in my bag that's taking up space. See, if I remove that item out of my bag, I can put something new in that place. See, I can put something that's going to be better for me. It's going to make me feel like I'm a better person. It's going to make me see things from a different perspective if I make room in my bag. But if I don't make room in my bag, if I continue to keep these things all in my bag, after a while, I'm going to see the need for a new bag. And if I see the need for a new bag, then I'm going to start to load things up in that bag. And then before you know it, I'm going to see a need for another bag. And then when I get to that other bag, guess what's going to happen? Get the picture. Aquafina, you're absolutely right. Then you feel lost without it. If you get rid of the thing that you had before, you feel lost without it. I want us to consider the verse in Psalms 55, verse 22. JJ, how you doing? Psalms 55, 22. It says, cast your burdens onto the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be moved. Solo, how you doing? See, the part that I want us to look at in this verse is he will sustain you, which goes along to what you said, Aquafina. You get rid of something and then you feel lost without it. See, but the Bible is saying that he will sustain you. See, you're not going to throw something away and be lost, because God is going to make sure he sustains you. God's going to make sure that he keeps you from falling. He keeps you from being moved. He keeps you from being lost. See, that's what God is going to do for you. That's what God is going to create for you. He's going to make sure that you are not going to be lost or fallen, or that you're going to be too drawn away because of the fact that you put all your heart and all your soul into the baggage that you should have gotten rid of. See, he wants you to let go of that baggage. He wants you to drop that weight, because that weight is what's holding you down. That weight is what's stopping you from getting to a better location, getting you to a better place. It's because of the fact that you're still holding on to an item that you should have gotten rid of a long time ago. You're still holding on to some piece of baggage that you should have gotten rid of a long time ago. But yet still, you're still holding on to it because you want to. You want to. Brock Lesnar. Oh, snap. Brock Lesnar is in the building. What happened to you on Sunday, bro? I have baggage. I'm not proud of it. That's the first thing one must say. I have baggage. I'm not proud of it. I have baggage that I want to let go of. I have baggage I want to remove in my life. I want to remove this baggage from my life so that way I can live again. I can breathe easy again. I can go on with my life. I don't have to sit and worry and contemplate what's next for me. I can let it go and I can move on. That's what I want to do. That's the type of baggage I want to let go of. See, this week we're going to be focused on different types of baggages. We're going to be focused on letting go of certain baggages. We're going to be focused on letting go of certain things that is holding us down, holding us back, and making it difficult for us to move forward. We're also going to talk about baggage that is good for us. There are some baggages that is good for us. Poppy Bad, how you doing? There are some baggages that are good for us. But this morning is all about the baggage that we still carry. Ebony Eyes, how you doing? We still hold on to the baggage that doesn't help us out at all because we're scared to let it go. We're scared to know the type of person we could be without it. And because we're so scared, we don't let it go. People that love you so much that are toxic. Interesting thought. People can be baggage. Absolutely right. While you're carrying the baggage in your own life, you might be carrying the baggages of someone else's life. You might be carrying the baggage that someone else has been carrying. And because of the fact that you are now a part of that person, you now have to help carry that pieces of baggage. Yet still you have your own baggage to carry. Kind of difficult, right? Kind of interesting. See, I try my best to make my baggage as light as possible because I know there are other people in my life that are going to be involved with me, and I want them to not have to worry about carrying my baggage. Yet still, we still have to remove certain items from our baggage because of the fact that we are carrying too much load. We're carrying too much weight. And if you're carrying too much weight, furthermore, and sooner or later, you won't be able to carry that weight. Yeah, you can manage it now. It's easy to manage it now because you have the energy, you have the strength. Nestor, how you doing? You have the courage, you have the power to keep pushing forward, to keep moving forward. But then before you know it, you start to get a little bit tired. And as you get tired, you start to feel like, I can't carry this load anymore. This baggage is becoming too heavy for me. This baggage is becoming too much for me to handle. And because it's becoming too much for me to handle, maybe it's time for me to throw in the towel. Maybe it's time for me to give up. Maybe it's time for me to just sit where I am and not move any further. Can you ever imagine saying that in your life? You know what? I can't go any further than this. I'm just going to give up. I'm going to quit. I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm done. Very interesting. It's very scary as well. See, I want to encourage you this morning that even though we go through and we have to face all types of things in our life, one thing we don't have to face is baggage that we should have gotten rid of years ago. Loads that we should have gotten rid of years ago. If you thought about this so many times, or have you executed it? It was something that I was carrying for a while, right? And I actually had a T-shirt that said it. Mila, how you doing? How you doing, Mila? There was a shirt that I had. It said, "Sarcasm is one of my many talents." I love that shirt. I thought that shirt was the greatest thing ever. When I saw it in the store, I said, I got to have it. So I purchased it. It fit me well. Fit, everything was good on me, was tight on me, and that right there in the front, it gave me free range to do something that I was so good at doing, and that was being sarcastic. And I realized by my sarcasm, I was putting more baggage in my baggage. I was putting more weight in my baggage, more load in my baggage. I realized that, by being sarcastic, I was slowing my process down. I was slowing myself down by being so sarcastic. I realized that maybe that's not the way for me to go. Maybe that's something I need to let go of. Maybe that's a piece of baggage that I can do without. So it took me a while, and I'm still losing remnants of that baggage. But I'm not as sarcastic as I used to be. I used to be very sarcastic. People didn't know whether or not I was telling the truth or I was being sarcastic. I didn't lie, but people didn't know whether or not I was keeping it real, like by not being so sarcastic. People didn't know. And it got to the point where I realized that I need to let this thing go because of the fact that I'm going to ruin a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships, if I continue to be so sarcastic. So I started to make strides. I started to say, okay, well, I'm going to let go of this particular baggage. I'm going to remove that baggage from my life. That way, nobody could ever say that I didn't try. No one could ever say that I didn't give it a full attempt. So the first step in doing that was to see the one thing that I had to get rid of, the one thing that was looking me in the face and showing me and telling me that I'm not done being so sarcastic. I'm not ready to get rid of the baggage, was to get rid of the actual shirt that said sarcasm. So I got that shirt and I balled that shirt up. I threw it in a bag and I donated it to charity. I got rid of that shirt and I figured by getting rid of this shirt, by removing this shirt from my life, I would be able to live freely. I would be able to start that process in changing who I am. I would be able to get rid of the thing that is stopping me from moving forward. I can get rid of the weight that I need to remove from my life. I can get rid of it. I figured if I'm able to do that, if I'm able to get rid of it, then I will be able to fit something else in the space. I figured if I'm able to get rid of this sarcasm, the sarcastic nature in my life, then I can make room for better habits in my life. I can make room for better things for me to do in my life. I figured if I go that far, if I do that, everything will be okay. Everything will fall into place. But the thing is with Satan, whenever you remove something from your life that doesn't belong, he always tries to put something else that doesn't belong in its place. He always tries to put something that you don't need in this place. And by him doing that, you have to start the process all over again. Walking V, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you're doing all right. This week, we're going to be talking about baggage and having too much baggage. And I want us to focus on that verse that we spoke about earlier today, Psalms 55, verse 22. Cast your burdens onto the Lord, and he will sustain you. The part I want you to focus on is that he will sustain you. Once you remove some of that baggage, he will sustain you so that you don't feel lost without him. The rest of the verse says that he will never permit the righteous to be beaten. Oh, I got John Cena in here too. Well, I have John Cena and Brock Lesnar in here. I'm a big wrestling fan. I feel famous. All right. So as we did last week, as we said last week, we're going to be ending our morning devotions a little short due to the fact I gotta travel to get to work. All right. So I want us to be reminded of the baggages that you may have in your life, the baggages that you need to remove from your life, the baggages that you need to get rid of. Booty Bump, how you doing? I want us to remind ourselves that the baggages that is in our lives Can't be good, can't be bad. You have to remove that baggage yourself. You have to get rid of that baggage. You can't allow that baggage to take control of you. So tomorrow we're going to talk about what is your baggage. What's your baggage? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. In tomorrow's devotion discussion, what's your baggage? We're going to identify your baggage. Okay. Now, because everybody is where they are and I'm where I am, I will be sharing with you. And I hope that you say it out loud for yourself. Because as soon as you say it out loud, then you can start to make plans on trying to fix it. All right. So let's do a roll call. My brother Matt, good to see you. Sister Rosie, good to see you. My brother Paul, good to see you. My mother Marisol, good to see you. Sister Gibson, good to see you. Over here. Quinano, good to see you. I have so many baggages. I don't know what to do. Start listing those baggages out and start weeding out the ones that you can get rid of. That's what you should do, Aquafina. Take some time today and write out every single thing that is your baggage and start to see which baggage you can get rid of. Aquafina, good to see you. Booty Bump, good to see you. Ebony Eyes, good to see you. Walking V, always good to see you. Molly, So Fly, good to see you. Mila, So Fly, good to see you. Vanessa, good to see you. Freaky Fred, blessings, good to see you, bro. Sexy Nine, good to see you. There's Angel Wings, blessings, good to see you. Upata Paw, good to see you. Molly Nug, blessings, good to see you. Nick, good to see you. Regular Degular, good to see you. Rebirth, good to see you, bro. Anthony Meta, good to see you. Nisi Baby, good to see you. Brianna Say, blessings, good to see you. And Nigel, good to see you this morning. Nelly, how are you this morning? All right, let's pray to close. Father God in heaven, we just want to lift you up and thank you, Lord, for giving us this time, this energy, this moment, this day, dear Lord. Father, we just want to give you praise and thank you, Lord, for giving us the opportunity, dear Father, to see your face and to hear your voice, dear Lord, through your words. Father God, help us to give the baggages that are keeping us down in our hearts and keeping us down and keeping us from growing, dear Lord. We ask you, Lord, to remove those baggages from our hearts, remove those baggages from our lives, dear Father. Help us, Lord, to see your face and to hear your voice, dear Lord. Help us to continue to grow each and every day as we continue to lift up your name, dear Father God. As we go into this devotion this week to talk about baggage, help us, Lord, to remove those baggages in our hearts that we have been holding on to for quite some time. And help us, Lord, to identify the baggages that need to go and start the process and remove. Lord, we love you and we thank you. In Christ's name. Amen. Alrighty then, folks. Once again, I just want to thank you all for joining me this morning. I hope you guys have a great day, have a blessed day, have a strong day. In your day, I want everybody to do that as your homework. Sit down and talk about and list all the things that you want to remove from your life, the baggages that you want to remove. Walking B, thank you for that love. I appreciate you. Consider all the things that you can remove in your heart, all the things you can remove from your life. Start that process. Tomorrow, remember, we're talking about what's your baggage. All right, folks. You guys take good care. Be blessed. I'll see you on the next broadcast. Take care.